we've found a therapist that really works for us, couples and individually. And it's definitely a process. It's not an easy one. Some of it's really difficult.
Let's dive into the first topic of the day. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly, they have ended their pretty rocky relationship.
When Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly first came together, it felt like Hollywood had been handed its next great love story, or maybe its next great disaster. Their relationship seemed to ignite instantly when they met on the set of the 2020 indie thriller Midnight in the Switchgrass. It was like watching two meteors collide in real-time, chaotic, intense, and impossible to look away from. While production on the film was halted early due to the global pandemic, the downtime allowed these two to connect on a deeper level, and it wasn't long before sparks began flying behind the scenes. Megan, at the time, was quietly separated from her husband of over a decade, Brian Austin Green, though the world wasn't fully aware of the split yet. Meanwhile, Machine Gun Kelly, real name Colson Baker, was already making waves as a genre-bending musician with a reputation for living life on the edge. Together, they were destined to be anything but ordinary. By May 2020, romance rumors were swirling. Daily Mail published photos of Megan and Kelly grabbing lunch in Calabasas, and the whispers began. Megan, notably without her wedding ring, seemed carefree and relaxed as she strolled with the musician. Just days later, Brian Austin Green confirmed on his podcast that he and Megan had officially separated after years of ups and downs, citing her desire for growth and independence. In his words, Megan had admitted to feeling more like herself when she was away working alone. While the split seemed amicable on the surface, the timing of her budding connection with MGK certainly didn't go unnoticed.
He's not allowed to have other hoes in his music video. It's the queen or no one.
The real drama kicked off when Kelly dropped the music video for his single Bloody Valentine, where Megan played his on-screen love interest. Their chemistry in the video was electric, so much so that fans couldn't help but wonder if the passion was spilling over into real life. Kelly didn't do much to squash the rumors either. In a tweet, referencing lyrics from the song, he wrote, "I'm calling you girlfriend, what the heck? Life imitated art on that one." From there, the speculation only grew louder, and by June, it was official. The two were spotted holding hands and kissing in Sherman Oaks, confirming what everyone already suspected. Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly were Hollywood's newest couple.
The pair's breakup news comes on the heels of baby news.
From the get-go, their relationship wasn't just about love, it was about intensity. To Megan, Kelly wasn't just her boyfriend, he was her twin flame. In their first joint interview, she described him as the other half of her soul, explaining that their connection went beyond the usual soulmate dynamic. Instead of a soulmate, a twin flame is actually where a soul has ascended into a high enough level that it can be split into two different bodies at the same time, she explained. So we're actually two halves of the same soul. It was the kind of poetic, larger-than-life statement that immediately set the tone for their relationship. This wasn't going to be a quiet, understated romance. This was going to be all-consuming, and the world was invited to watch. By July 2020, MGK made it Instagram official, posting a black and white mirror selfie of the two with the caption, "Waited for eternity to find you again." It was clear that this wasn't just a fling for either of them. Megan also seemed fully committed, sharing her own steamy snap of the couple just a month later, calling Kelly her achingly beautiful boy and declaring, "My heart is yours." Of course, this didn't sit well with Brian Austin Green, who posted his own response on Instagram. Using Megan's exact words, he captioned a photo of their children with a not-so-subtle dig, "Achingly beautiful boys, my heart is yours." While Megan and Brian had vowed to make co-parenting their priority, the cracks in their amicable front were starting to show.
He's like, I don't know, grow up, like, you know, she's pregnant.
As Megan and Kelly's relationship heated up, so did their public displays of affection. Whether it was licking tongues on the red carpet or matching manicures on Instagram, they made sure the world knew just how deeply in love they were, and their love wasn't just passionate, it was theatrical. Kelly once revealed that Megan gave him an astrology reading the second day they met, and from that moment on, they were inseparable. They weren't just dating, they were creating a narrative, a dark fairy tale where love hurt literally. By January 2022, when Kelly proposed, he did so with a custom engagement ring featuring two magnetic bands, embedded with thorns designed to hurt if removed. "Love is pain," he said, and for these two, it seemed to be the defining theme of their relationship. But as with any fairy tale, there was a dark side. While their romantic highs were the stuff of tabloid dreams, their lows were equally dramatic. Kelly's unpredictable behavior and Megan's fiery personality often led to explosive fights, and their relationship quickly became known for its on-again, off-again nature. Fans couldn't keep up with their constant breakups and reconciliations, and it wasn't long before their love story started to feel less like a fairy tale and more like a soap opera. Despite the chaos, they kept coming back to each other, drawn by the same intensity that had brought them together in the first place. Their connection was undeniable, but it was also volatile. For every sweet Instagram post or romantic red carpet appearance, there were rumors of fights, trust issues, and cryptic social media posts that hinted at trouble in paradise. Still, the couple insisted that their love was worth fighting for. Meghan once called their relationship ecstasy and agony, admitting that while their bond wasn't perfect, it was deeply transformative.
And fell back into constant fighting. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time that they've actually split up since they started dating back in 2020. It's a kind of an on-again, off-again situation.
Yeah.
So, Perdita, the question is, when it comes to ups and downs and what might be considered a toxic relationship, when should the on-off just be off?
By the time Thanksgiving 2024 rolled around, it seemed like Meghan and Kelly might finally be entering a more stable chapter. Meghan had announced her pregnancy just weeks earlier in a heartfelt Instagram post, calling it a rainbow after the storm. For fans who had watched their relationship unfold over the years, the news felt like a sign that the couple was ready to leave their tumultuous past behind and focus on building a family together. But as it turned out, the storm was far from over. Their Thanksgiving getaway to Vail, Colorado was supposed to be a peaceful retreat, a chance to reconnect and prepare for the future. Instead, it became the setting for one of the most dramatic moments in their relationship. According to insiders, Meghan discovered something on Kelly's phone during the trip, something that shattered the fragile trust they had been trying to rebuild. What exactly she found remains unclear, but sources close to the couple have hinted that it involved messages to other women, messages that Meghan saw as a betrayal of their commitment. For a relationship already built on shaky ground, it was the final straw.
Relationship for your entire adult life. You go through great seasons and very difficult seasons, and sometimes you can feel almost disillusioned about, like, you know, that childlike, almost naive kind of love that you like to feel. Like, well, what is love really?
Whatever Meghan saw on Kelly's phone led to a heated confrontation, and by the end of the trip, their relationship was in tatters. Kelly reportedly left Vail early, and the two haven't been seen together since. For Meghan, who was 6 months pregnant at the time, the betrayal was devastating. She had hoped the pregnancy would bring them closer together, but instead, it seemed to highlight the cracks in their relationship. The couple's inner circle, who had long been skeptical of their volatile dynamic, reportedly urged Meghan to walk away for good this time. Whether or not she'll take that advice remains to be seen. The fallout from Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly's chaotic Thanksgiving weekend was just the latest chapter in what could only be described as one of Hollywood's most dramatic modern romances. For years, the couple's relationship had been the subject of constant public fascination, with fans glued to every twist and turn. But this time, things felt different. Meghan's discovery of suspicious messages on Kelly's phone wasn't just another bump in the road. It was a moment of reckoning, a breaking point that seemed to signal the end of their fiery, tumultuous connection, or at least that's how it looked to the outside world.
This is a time for me to really focus on healing myself emotionally and, not unlike my mom, connecting to myself, prioritize my kids and making sure they're okay.
What made this breakup so shocking wasn't just the timing coming mere weeks after Meghan's heartfelt pregnancy announcement, but the ripple effects it unleashed. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed the tension had been building for months. While the couple had always been known for their on-again, off-again dynamic, Meghan had reportedly hoped that their growing family would bring a sense of stability. Instead, the relationship seemed to buckle under the pressure. For Meghan, who was 6 months pregnant and juggling the emotional weight of her situation, the betrayal cut deeper than ever. This wasn't just about a broken promise, it was about shattered trust and the realization that their relationship might not survive the chaos they'd built around it.
Sometimes you talk yourself out of it also. You're like, well, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe I'm making it all up. Maybe it is a coincidence, but it's not a coincidence. And people who are around me for a long time have seen a lot of weird things go on.
Kelly's behavior leading up to the Thanksgiving debacle had already raised eyebrows. While Meghan was focused on keeping her pregnancy private and sacred, Kelly had been dropping hints and making offhand comments that many saw as careless. At one point, he reportedly mentioned his excitement over the baby potentially being a boy, despite Meghan's clear desire to keep such details under wraps. For someone who had spent years being scrutinized by the public eye, Meghan's frustration with Kelly's inability to respect boundaries was understandable. It wasn't just about protecting their privacy, it was about creating a safe, secure environment for their unborn child, something that felt increasingly out of reach in the whirlwind of their relationship. But let's not forget, this wasn't the first time Kelly's actions had come under fire. Throughout their relationship, his unpredictable behavior had been a recurring theme. From cryptic social media posts to late-night outings, Kelly often left fans and Meghan wondering where his priorities truly lay. While he'd always been open about his struggles and his rock star lifestyle, there were moments when his actions seemed to undermine the very foundation of their connection. Insiders close to the couple described a pattern of emotional highs and lows, with Kelly's dramatic tendencies often clashing with Meghan's desire for consistency.
Look at him, I'm like, he's very interesting. So Megan, run, girl, run. I think
I know, but wait, don't you also feel like this is what, growing up, I'd hear like women like this we would call women who would have prepaid man problems. These are women who are involved with somebody where you know they're not good for you, but because of the or your unresolved childhood trauma, you keep going back again.
Take, for instance, the infamous February 2023 incident when Meghan abruptly deleted all traces of Kelly from her Instagram account and posted a cryptic caption referencing dishonesty. Fans immediately speculated about cheating, with some pointing fingers at Kelly's guitarist, Sophie Lloyd. While Meghan later clarified that Sophie had nothing to do with their issues, the damage was already done. The public had gotten a glimpse of the cracks in their relationship, and the couple's attempts to reconcile only seemed to highlight how fragile their bond had become.
Do that. Yeah. And we've seen plenty of celebrity couples go through this. I'm thinking like Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. Remember, they were pretty toxic. Yeah. Then, of course, it was Whitney and Bobby. And then, of course, most recently, Cardi B and Offset. And those relationships never worked. But I think those relationships are very important. And there are a lot of people who wouldn't be married today if they didn't date that toxic guy. And hear me out. I think you learn a lot more about yourself, your self-esteem, your boundaries, what your needs versus your wants are.
Over time, these cracks became harder to ignore, even as they made red carpet appearances and shared intimate glimpses of their life together. The underlying tension was palpable. Friends of the couple reportedly urged them to seek professional help, and by mid-2023, they were attending regular counseling sessions to work through their issues. At first, it seemed to help. Sources claimed the pair were making progress, with Kelly showing a newfound commitment to self-improvement. But as anyone who's followed their story knows, progress in their world often came with setbacks. By the time Thanksgiving rolled around, Meghan's patience was wearing thin. The messages she found on Kelly's phone, though never publicly detailed, were reportedly the last straw. For someone who had already endured so much, the discovery felt like a betrayal too big to overlook. According to insiders, Meghan confronted Kelly immediately, leading to a heated argument that ended with him leaving their Colorado vacation early. The tension between them was undeniable, and for the first time in years, it seemed like Meghan was ready to walk away for good. Of course, Kelly's response to the situation only fueled the drama. While Meghan retreated from the spotlight to focus on her pregnancy, Kelly turned to social media, posting cryptic messages and vague apologies that left fans guessing. In one post, he hinted at feeling blocked creatively, sparking speculation that the breakup was taking a toll on his music career. In another, he referenced his excitement about becoming a father again, despite the clear uncertainty surrounding his relationship with Meghan. For fans, it was a classic example of Kelly's inability to confront issues head-on, a habit that had long been a source of tension between him and Meghan. As the dust settled, the question on everyone's mind was simple: could they ever truly move on from this? For Meghan, the answer seemed increasingly clear. Sources close to the actress claimed she was prioritizing her well-being and the health of her unborn child above all else. While she still cared deeply for Kelly, the trust between them had been eroded to the point of no return. For someone who had once described their connection as a twin flame bond, the realization that love wasn't enough was undoubtedly heartbreaking. But Meghan's decision to step back wasn't just about protecting herself. It was about setting a new standard for the kind of relationship she wanted moving forward. As a mother of 3, she had always been fiercely protective of her family, and this situation was no different. Even as she navigated the emotional fallout of the breakup, Meghan remained focused on creating a stable, nurturing environment for her children and her growing family. For fans, it was a reminder of her resilience and strength, qualities that had defined her long before her whirlwind romance with Kelly.
I think there's a certain point where someone's got to grab you and say, grow up. Just grow up. And I think there is a phase, we go through this all, we talked about Bad Boys earlier in the week, but I think for me at this age anyway, in my wisdom, what I've learned is, you know what is invaluable? You cannot put a price on your peace.
Meanwhile, Kelly seemed to be grappling with his own demons. Insiders described him as devastated by the breakup, with some suggesting he was taking time away from the spotlight to reflect and regroup. While he hadn't given up hope of reconciling with Meghan, those close to the couple believed the damage might be too great to repair. After all, this wasn't just a case of miscommunication or a minor disagreement. It was a fundamental breakdown of trust, one that had been years in the making. As fans continued to speculate about their future, one thing was clear: Meghan and Kelly's relationship had always been more than just a love story. It was a spectacle, a roller coaster ride that captivated audiences and kept the tabloids buzzing. But beneath the drama and theatrics, there was a real connection, one that, despite its flaws, had brought them both moments of genuine happiness. For Megan, those moments would always hold a special place in her heart. But as she looked ahead to the next chapter of her life, it was clear that she was ready to leave the chaos behind. In the weeks following the breakup, Megan's inner circle rallied around her, offering support and encouragement as she navigated this challenging time. Friends and family reportedly urged her to focus on herself and her baby, reminding her of the strength and resilience that had carried her through so many obstacles in the past. For Megan, leaning on her loved ones was a crucial part of the healing process, and their unwavering support gave her the confidence to move forward. As for Kelly, his path seemed less certain. While he remained hopeful about the possibility of reconciliation, those closest to him believed he still had a lot of work to do, both personally and professionally, before he could truly rebuild what he'd lost. Whether or not he would rise to the occasion remained to be seen, but one thing was certain: the road ahead wouldn't be easy.
Our therapist said that a relationship is basically the process of breaking each other down, but most people don't have the tools to build each other back up.
For fans, the breakup marked the end of an era. Megan and Kelly's relationship had been nothing if not unforgettable, and their journey, from their early days on the set of Midnight in the Switchgrass to their dramatic Thanksgiving fallout, was a testament to the highs and lows of modern celebrity romance. While their love story may have come to an end, the lessons they learned along the way would undoubtedly shape the next chapters of their lives. And so, as Megan focused on her pregnancy and Kelly worked to find his footing, the world watched with bated breath, wondering what the future would hold for these two star-crossed lovers. Would they find their way back to each other, or was this truly the end of their journey together? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this and other breaking stories. Stay tuned.